Good evening to everyone. Okay, thank you. There's a huge interest on this part, on this event. So thank you for everyone coming into this one. Let me introduce ourselves. So I am Sodhi here from IESL NSW chapter, and engineer Dharmapala is there from the IESL headquarters committee, who is heading with the team Engineers Without Borders. And there's also Mrs. Kamala Gunawardena there from the IESL committee. And also here on my side, there's Mr. Manoj Rajan Babu. He's a solicitor come a migration consultant is here. And on the other side, okay, there is Prof. Sadasivam. He's a professor in the Western University of Sydney, and he is joining with us here today. And I got there's two young engineers. One is Harry is here with us. He graduated very recently and living in Australia. And there's also another engineer, Ajani Gunawardena. She is graduated from very recent graduate, and she came to Australia and she's back in Sri Lanka for her back in Sri Lanka now. Okay, together with all others are here. Welcome all the audience. Let me hand over the mic to Engineer Dharmapala to say a few words. Mr. Dharmapala, please.
Yeah, thank you, Engineer Sodhi. I am Dharmapala, immediate past president of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. You know, ISL is having standing committees. One of these standing committees, there is a standing committee called Professional Affairs Committee. During the one of the meetings, some members brought to the notice of notice to the chairman, actually the president of the IESL, regarding the current issue facing our members due to the crisis, financial and political instability in this country. As a result of those things, most of our engineers, young engineers, as well as some senior engineers also lost their employment. So Professional Affairs Committee wanted to look into this matter. So they appointed a committee chaired by myself, and there are other members, about 10 members. So we discussed about this issue and submitted the report to the Professional Affairs Committee, and it has been already handed over to the council. So there we suggested short-term proposals and long-term proposals. In short-term proposals, one is to get the assistance of our chapters, overseas chapters, consult chairpersons, chairman of each and every chapter. Accordingly, we had so many rounds of meetings, and for those meetings, I really appreciate the input of foreign overseas chapter chairman, especially New South Wales chair engineer Sodhi Paramasodhi, and Kata chapter engineer Kamir. So during the very recent meeting, engineer Sodhi came out with proposal. He wants to arrange a few webinars regarding this migration, how to migrate. There are various steps to be followed. So actually, most of our members are not aware how to fulfill these requirements. So to overcome this issue, I think Engineer Soti has now arranged a webinar titled as Opportunities of Migration to Australia and Studying at Australian Universities. Yes, some can, there are various visa classes. I think you will get idea of these things. So I won't take much of time. I welcome all participants. There are, I think, nearly 541 participants. Also, these resource persons, Manoj Rajan Babu, Professor Sadasivam, and moderator engineer Soti, panelist engineer Hari Paramanathan, and engineer Miss Achini Gunawardana. So now it is time to start the webinar. So Engineer Soti, it is over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Dharmapala. Thank you so much for your good introduction. And I am really concerned with the current situations going on. So there could be some relief to the engineers who are in Sri Lanka by looking at these avenues. So before I start the meeting, let me do, because we are having this webinar in the land of traditional owners. So let me do the acknowledgement as our Australian tradition. In the spirit of reconciliation, the IESL New South Wales chapter acknowledges the traditional custodians of the country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respect to the elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. So with that acknowledgement to the traditional landowners, I would like to commence a thing. So this meeting is organized on the request of IES Engineer Dharmapala, their committee. And we want to have this meeting to get all the engineers benefited through this one, okay? And there's a disclaimer also we want to clearly advise to the audience, okay? This seminar was organized on the request of IESL headquarters, Colombo. And this is only a giving guidance, okay? We are not promoting anyone to migrate or anything, okay? So it's on your viewer has to make an appropriate decision based on their circumstances and possibilities. And you should be always responsible for their own decision. It's a little bit of, it's your decision to migrate or what other things you want to capture from this one. Before taking any good decision, you think of your circumstances and make the decision which is appropriate for you and your family. With this little introduction, okay, let me have the privilege to introduce Mr. Manoj Rajan Babu. He is a solicitor come migration consultant. He is a well knowledgeable person, and he has done a master's degree from UTS in the area of law. And he is a practicing lawyer. He handles many cases in relation to the civil engineering disputes and building in the contractual disputes. And he lives very close to, he lives in Sydney. So with this small introduction to him, let me welcome Mr. Manoj Rajan Babu to start his presentation. Welcome,
thank you, Soti.
Manoj.
Thank you. Good evening, engineers on that one. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to you people. By looking at the numbers, which I could see now, I think so that I would better prefer, rather than going with the slides and giving the subclause numbers and visa numbers, I will give you a short brief or a little bit of an information of an understanding of how you can migrate to Australia. See, compared to each of your circumstances on that one, there is room for everybody. And it's true, it's just a fact that there is skill shorts in Australia. And especially after the COVID situation, I think Australian government is desperate and is liberal in issuing visas on that one, on skill visas. So there are multiple options. If you could see the screen, which you could see on that one, different type of visas are available on that one for qualified people. So in terms of there are, I could see the numbers on that one. I could understand that there would be different age groups with a different experience, work experience backgrounds as well on that one. So I cannot speak in in a uh, in a particular aspect on that one. I can go in a generic way. See what and how the Australian look into that is that one, they intend to have a genuine migration to Australia. When I say genuine migration to Australia, the first thing is that one, when they give an invitation for a person to come to Australia, they expect the person to have a set of skills on that one. As you people are qualified engineers on that one, definitely you already have a skill set on that one. So the first thing which an engineer should do, if in case if they intend to migrate to Australia, the first thing is to have their degree assessed through the Australian body, which is Engineers Australia on that one. And for that one, there is a link which has been provided in this slide as well at the end of the slide, which will give you a better understanding of how you can put up an application for assessment. And the assessment fees and the charges is also vary on that one. So approximately, I think it's less than $1,000 on that one for different types of assessment. There are different rates and charges on that one. So that is the first thing which, if an engineer wish to come to Australia on that one, need to do. So once an assessment is been done, then you know that you are a qualified person on that one to put up an application to migration. Then how the Australian uh, criteria is that one nowadays, even though there is a point system on that one, it's called a pool on that one. It's called expression of interest. So anybody who is interested in migrating to Australia need to have this assessment done through the Engineers Australia. And then once the assessment has been done and successfully passed on that one, you can put up an application for your expression of interest in the pool. Once you are in the pool on that one, there would be an invitation, or the people who request such a skill set on that one would give you a nomination or elect for you to be, it will give you an invitation to come to Australia. So that is the second step. So first step is your assessment on that one, which is very simple on that one, which you people can also go through that website and see the criteria on that one, and you can do your assessment on that one. Once you are in the asset pool on that one, then it is a waiting period. So depending upon the skill shortage in different areas of it, and depending upon your experience on that one, an employer over here can look into those into the pool and see if in case if there is anybody suitable person on that one, they can nominate that person. Once you get a nomination on that one, then it will become a little bit easy on that one. So your visa application would be processed on that one. So in order to be in the asset, in order to be in the pool, there is another set of criteria. Once assessment is been done, then there is a point system on that one. So point system is that when you need to secure a set point on that one, a maximum of at least a minimum, sorry, not a maximum, at least a minimum 65 points on that one. And that 65 points can be secured on on different aspects on that one. So which is your education, whether you have a doctorate on it, whether you have a graduation, whether you have a master's on it, and what is your English test points, your age group. So like that one, there is a point system on that one. Once you secure a 65 points on that one, so that means you are a qualified person to be in the asset pool. And once a person, once an employer nominates you or invite you on that one, your application will be processed and then you will be granted a visa. That is the normal standard practice on that one. So in this list, which you could see here in the slide, the skilled nomination visa, skilled workers regional visa, employer sponsored visa, employer nomination scheme. So all of this skill set is that somebody has to give you an invitation or somebody has to nominate you. And in these categories also, there are some priorities as well on that one. So in different regions in Australia, there are some set of skill shortages on that one. So for that one, if those regions on that one, if it is desperate on that one to have those skill shortage done, the processing will also be done in an escalated way, and the set of points also too on that one. So if in case if you are short of points on that one, of age group or whatever it requires on that one, that you cannot achieve a 65 on that one, and you elect to go in a regional professional visa, then there are some additional points to that aspects as well. So that is how we try to be qualified in that pool on that one. Once you are being nominated on that one, then you will be granted a visa. Once you are in Australia on that one, if it is not a permanent visa on that one, then you once you are in Australia for a certain period and is working under the relevant field on that one, or with your sponsor on that one, then with a certain stage that you will be qualified for a permanent visa. So this is in a snapshot on that one. So this is how the Australian system works on that one. Now, depending upon your your circumstances on that one, your education background, your university on those things, your experience on that one. So there are different sets of experiences as well on that one. So the point system on that one will also vary depending upon your work experience. That if you are having a work experience outside Australia, then you are qualified for a 15 like from 8 to 10 years on that one, then you are eligible to get a 15 points. If your work experience in Australia, if you have it earlier, if you have come to Australia and worked for around 8 to 10 years on that one, then the points is 20 points. Like that one, depending upon each and every person's personal circumstances, the point systems varies on that one. So overall, you should have a 65 points on that one. Then, so this is for the skill side on that one. So the another one, if it is a youngsters on that one, if it's a fresh graduate on that one, then there are some shortcuts as well on that one with a less expensive mode, like a skilled graduate visa on that one. So you need to apply for a graduate visa on that one. You will be able to stay in Australia for 2 years on that one, and you can find your sources on that one. And if you can find a sponsor on that one, then that will be a great way for you to come in an easy way. Plus, if you wish to study in Australia on that one, then you can study here on that one. So that there are different types of or different grade of universities as well on that one, offering engineering courses or master degree in engineering as well on that one. Once your education is over on that one, then definitely you can have your point system done, and we'll also have some priority on that one in settling in Australia. And if you are coming in an Australian student visa on that one, then what are your options on that one? So if you're coming in an Australian student visa on that one, yeah, if it is a visa which is more than 1 year on that one, yes, your spouse and your family can also come, depending upon if you could satisfy uh, the financial criteria on that one for maintenance and all those things. So once you satisfy that one, your spouse also can come. As of now, because of the COVID situation on that one, there is no limitation for work in Australia as of now. Maybe before it was a 20 hours limit. Now there is no limit as of now. So we can work unlimited in Australia if you comes in a student visa as well. So that is the new changes in the student visa. And I think so it's very little bit lenient nowadays on that one for a visa as well because of the education industry being the third largest industry in Australia on that one, they are promoting the business as well. So that is for youngsters on that one. That is one of an avenue which you can explore with not much of a burden on that one. That we can come fast as well. So the other one, if it is in an in the pool for the expression of interest one, maybe there would be a little bit of a delay in getting it through on that one and coming to Australia. The otherwise on that one, student visa is a little bit of an easy and fast way on that one, but there would be a little bit of a struggle at the early stage on that one because you being a student on that one, you need to spend time for that one. Plus, you need to find your resources as well to survive in Australia as well. So as long as you are determined on that one, so it is your choice to make on that one. So which one you need to come on. let me go through this graduate visa on that one. So just a second. Can I suggest on that one? I could see there's a big number on that one, so I expected there's an interaction from the listeners as well. So, is there any chance that we can have an interactions with any of them? Want to ask some questions on that one? Hello.
Let me come back. We are going to open up the interaction sessions where
Just
the audience has
because the
opportunity.
volume is too big, it's almost around 638 of them on that one.
Yeah.
If I go with visa numbers on that one, it would be very unlikely that they would understand, or like it will create a confusion on that one. So rather than, as I said on that one, so there are different pathways of them to approach to come to Australia. And if they want to ask, like, I could see what they would be imagining on that one. So if they could ask me some questions on that one, that I would be happy to assist, and other people also may benefit out of it.
Yes, exactly. So you continue and finish it off.
Mhm.
There are already questions on the chat box,
Mhm.
which I have recorded here.
Mhm.
So I'm going to raise up those stuff on behalf of the audience.
Mhm.
But let us finish the session with you. Then we will also finish with Prof. Sada. Then from there we will start the session. But unfortunately, because 600 people are there, we won't be able to entertain everybody. But we will happy to accommodate reasonably amount of questions. We have allocated another 1 hour reasonable time. So I
Yeah.
would be happy to do that. Yeah.
See, if they wish to on that one, we can go by the slide and give a little bit of a snapshot on that one. If that is agreeable on that one, I can go through these ones and then explain to them each visa as well, if in case if they wish to.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Because that one, the problem is that one, for 600 people on that one, they do not know which criteria they belong to on that one.
Yeah.
So, so that is why I said in an explanation on that one. So if in case if anybody wish, the first thing is to do the skills assessment on that one. So what do you people like? I'm okay with it. What about you suggest on that one?
Now we have run only 20 minutes. Okay. So let us go by your suggestion. Okay, then we will have a more way to explain the people. Okay,
Let's see what is there. If in case if you can tell me what is the interactions which has come up on that one, then I can see the thought process with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you share me some of those inquiries on that one so that I can address it?
Let me finish up with Sada. Okay, I'm recording those things. Okay, all the questions. Okay, then audience also welcome to ask by unmuting the things, unmuting their speaker, and they can ask. But whatever came on the chat box, I have already recorded with me, and I'm going to ask on the behalf of the audience. Okay, so if that is done, okay, let me go and invite Prof. Sada to give a little bit of broad view about getting a higher education, getting higher education opportunities in Sri Lanka. Sorry, in Australia. I'm sorry.
Sodhi, this is an engineer's crowd on that one, so that is why I did not go into the basics of English criteria and all those things. I hope all of them are educated people on that one, so I did not mention all those things, which is very understandable. I hope.
Yes, we will address those things. No problem. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have one slide. I will just give an overview of what's happening in the education sector. So can I share my slide?
Yes, please. Have you got the option to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I think This is Sada. I'm a professor in Western Sydney University in Australia. So I just wanted to give you only one slide rather than I will address your questions when the questions are coming up. But in terms of migration, I think the degree that they recognize is 2-year degree. If you want to get any Australian degree, that's a two-year more. So therefore, probably you don't have to worry about the first few degrees. That they are only for skilling up. So for example, you come with a degree here, but you want to go to a certain field, you are seeing that it is hot, and then you want to skill up yourself, then you can use the graduate certificate and graduate diploma. And then there are micro credentials, which are even very short courses. The other ways that you can get the education pathway is through master program and PhD program. In the master program, there are many different courses. There are MPhil, they are mostly research-based degree, and Master of Engineering, they are mostly professional degree. There is Master of Research, which is half research and half professional type of degree. So that provides pathway for both sides, for the professional path as well as the research career path. Then there is MBA, Master in Business Administration, and that is also one type of degree that usually they are between 1 and 2 years. And because the Institute of Engineers Australia requirement, I think the immigration requirement is 2 years. If you have 2-year degree in Australia, then you get some points there. I don't know about the point system, but I think usually I am hearing from many of my students that they need 2-year degree. Then from the other one is the PhD degree. So how for PhD degree, usually we get scholarships for the students. The scholarships and tuition fee waiver. That means usually you don't have to pay any money if you get the PhD scholarship. But recently, one of my students, Sri Lankan student, got a PhD scholarship that was given by our university. And then that provides about $30,000 per year, and tuition fee is waived, which is another $30,000 to $40,000 per year coming as a tuition fee that is waived. So you can do that PhD degree if you are selected to that, then you can do the PhD degree. So if you want to do the PhD, if you want to apply for PhD program, then there is a criteria, and usually PhD degree, if you have first class degree or second upper in Sri Lanka, then most of the time that degree is recognized equivalent to first class and second upper in Australia. And then there is a point system. One is about your degree. The other is about your experience in the research field, or whatever you have done in your professional career. And then there is also point given depending on the supervisor and other things. I think what you can control is mostly about publications, and then your degree, which is first class or second upper or whatever. The other, what you will get, what you need is the publication. If you have written some publications somewhere, which is in the recognizable journals, then you get points, and then based on those points, you will be ranked within the university. For example, in Western Sydney University, we rank them according to your qualifications. And I think I can provide that link if necessary. If anybody is interested in it, I can put that forward to Engineers Australia, and then they can distribute it as a link. The other one is the MPhil program. They are, for this program, usually no scholarship is given. And they are, if you want to come in, you will have to pay for the tuition fee. And in some cases, for example, in my case, when the student come and study with me for MPhil, if I have projects there, then I used to give them some scholarship and some tuition fee waiver for the second year, not for the second year, depending on the availability of the project and the way that the students are working. If I am happy with the way that they are working, then usually I offer. Similarly, I think there are other professors, they might offer something like that. That depends on the qualification, depending on how the student is performing and how to call availability of the funding. I mean, that is different. But I think I gave it for, at least I know 2 or 3 students I have given out of 5 or 6 students. So depending on the performance anyway. So that is, I think that basically covers what I wanted to say. Then if the student finishes MPhil for 1 to 2 years, and then they can apply for PhD, and then doing the MPhil here in Australia and applying for PhD usually gain more scoring. So easier to rank, easier to get the PhD scholarship for the 3 year. And after the PhD, of course, you have to look for jobs, and then that can happen within Australia or outside Australia, within wherever industry as well as within the university. So I think that sort of sums up what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Sada. Thank you for your valuable informations. So let's, there were some questions on the chat. Okay, so let's start with those chats. Okay, and so let us say the panel members and Manoj can answer who is relevant to this one. So there was a question about whether the nurses can migrate to Australia. I think, can I just leave this to Manoj, please? Manoj.
Yeah, Suzy. Yes,
Yeah.
they do. They can migrate on that one, but they also needed to give some test over here on that one. So they need to assess their degree on that one, and they needed to have some courses done, some papers done on that one. So yes, they can.
Yes, there's a good demand for nursing career, in my understanding.
There is plenty because of the age care centers and 40% aged population. Nurses were always on demand.
Yes, that's right. And also the body to be get assessed is Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia. This
That's
is the
right.
body assessing their qualification. So those who intended to migrate under the nursing category, it is best to approach this body and get your qualification assessed. Also in this question, in regard to this nursing question, okay, always probably the engineer who asked me probably having the wife as the nurse. Okay, so it's also they being younger to you, it is better that you will have better points in getting access for your migration. You will stand a better chance. Yeah. Okay, so I think that will I'm coming, there's a lot of things coming up in the chat, so please I won't be able to go with cope up with everything. Just hang on, we will open the floor, then you can ask for us, please, from us. Yeah. All right. Okay, there was another question. Okay, is there opportunities for the quantity surveyors? Okay, so once again, I think Manoj, yeah, okay.
See, I cannot comment upon that one, Sodhi, because I do not know whether that particular skill is in short on that one.
There's
Hello?
there's an demand for the QS, not as the other like engineers, but once again the qualifications to be assessed by the Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, and once they get into that, and they will be quite similar to the engineers, okay, in assessing. Okay. Okay.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Wait. Let us finish up this one. What is coming on the chat? I have only captured about 10 questions, so we will clarify that. Then, if you have further questions, yes, definitely you are welcome to do so. All right.
Sodhi, can I
okay.
put that point system on the board so
Yeah,
that
okay, sure.
they would be in a position to share screen? Yeah. Yeah, from this one, if in case if you could see that some information, some valuable information is in here for the points calculator. Yeah, so if in case if they want to address the questions on that one, that should be fine.
Yeah, all right. Okay, these slides can be shared with you all. Okay, and recordings are available to get it from the from IESL team. So let's move to the other thing.
So it will
okay,
be for
Excuse
this.
me, this age
this slide.
category is not clear.
Sorry. Hello.
Writing is very small. This side and previous one. Can you quickly?
Which one? The points calculator, is that the one
Yes,
which you're
yes,
asking? Okay,
yes,
fine.
please.
Okay. What we will do is, I think, Sodhi, you have all the emails, right, for the participants. They can share it on that one.
We will give it to them. There's no problem.
So
Okay,
this is this is a very helpful thing on that one. So you yourself, before you spend any money on that one, you yourself can assess and see where do you stand on that one, and then you can process your assessment skills and those things. So from this one, you will understand from your personal circumstances how much point you can achieve, whether you are in a position to get a 65 points on that one. So all the points is there on that one, which you can see.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that Institution of Engineers Australia is proposed to sign a bilateral agreement with Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. If we sign that agreement, is there any chance for us to go and work with? That's been, are they accepting our charter?
No.
There are criteria on that one, which is an employer-sponsored one. There is one set of criteria on that one. Despite there is no need for assessment and all those things on that one. If you have an employer here on that one who wants that particular skill set and your experience on that one, that type of visas can be processed on that one.
No, my question is, so now when there is a bilateral agreement between Institution of Engineers Australia and the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, so that means bilaterally our charter status will accept by the both countries.
That's
so
right.
If
it has been recognized in such a way by way of a bilateral agreement, yes, you will be passing the skill set on that one. Yes.
Let me answer that question, please. Yeah, after you. All right. Okay. Is regarding the bilateral agreement? Yes, definitely that agreement is available on the EA Australia website. You can have a look at it. So what does that mean is those who have a chartered status in Sri Lankan Institute of Engineers will have an equal status in the Institute of EA Australia, Engineers Australia. That means if you are a professional engineer with a chartered status, then you will be equal to get a equal status here. So that's definitely a very plus one. Okay, that will give a mutual recognition. currently it has lapsed. The NSW, IESL NSW chapter is pushing hard to re-sign this agreement. I think our president, Dr. Kamal Laxmi, is working very hard, and along with the engineer Dharmapala, I think this year there's a good possibility it will be signed.
So that will be very good future for us if you have any charter here, right?
Yes, yes,
Am I
that
correct?
will recognize you straight away as a chartered member here in the equal status.
Oh,
May
that
I
is
ask-
only for
May I ask a question, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah, earlier it was the Engineers Australia Charter was equal to International Professional Engineer status. So now with the charter, only with charter, can we obtain the Engineers Australia Charter membership without International Professional Engineer qualification?
That is a little bit of tricky status, and honestly speaking, we don't know about that. If there are any mutual recognition status exist in Engineers Australia, but I would suggest you to visit the Engineers Australia website and look into this where they have the mutual recognitions. Yeah.
So may I ask a question, please?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so is there a possibility for someone to do electronics HND in Sri Lanka as well as IT networking HND? I mean, like 2 HNDs in Sri Lanka and transferring to Australia and doing a top up of telecommunication engineering and working as a telecommunication engineer in Australia. Is there a possibility?
Yes, Engineers Australia recognize people in various categories. One is in the engineer status. Then there's a category called engineering technologist. Okay, that's where you will be able to fit in with as an engineering technologist. Okay, the engineering technologist also has given equal point system, nothing different to engineers. But yeah, you can come as an engineering technologist and you can find some work. Yeah.
I have a question.
Is a relevant work experience needed to get the profession of engineering technologist in Sri Lanka? I mean, like to work from those HNDs for like 1 or 2 years and come there to Australia. Is there something like that a rule?
There's no straightforward recognition like for the degree, but then there may be something which honestly we are not that very sure that how they assess the engineering technologist. Is Harry, can you do something? Anything? Do you know about it? Engineering technologist recognition?
So the mostly for the universities who have Washington Accord only directly accredited by Engineers Australia without a CDR report, who are out of like Washington Act, they have to submit a CDR report with their educational qualification and their work experience, the postgraduate experience. According to their skill assessment, they will provide whether your experience is valid according to the Engineers Australia skill frame.
I have a question to Professor Sada, sir. May I ask?
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, you said MPhil in Australia, those who did the MPhil, it's straightforward transfer to the PhD program. How about those who completed MPhil in Sri Lanka State University? Any straightforward transferring program?
Yeah, you can apply. I think there is no straightforward transfer, but you have to apply for MPhil for PhD. But when we are considering the person for PhD degree, we try to look for your research experience. So sometimes what happens, some of the master program that is offered by Sri Lankan universities usually are taught master program. They are 1 year. Sometimes you do research only for about, I don't know, 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. And then that really is not sufficient to get higher points in when ranking. So if you have a degree where you have a higher percentage of research, and then you have done some publication, then your chances of success to getting
Sorry.
admission to PhD is not a problem, but getting the scholars, you need something more than just MPhil master degree for about 1 year. Does
So
it
my-
answer your question?
Thank you, sir.
My request is, sir, to you, Engineer Ganeshamurthy. So I think you are very well aware about this bilateral agreement. So now including myself and many of our engineers, charter engineers, is now looking for international opportunities, especially in Australia. So why don't you enroll with ISL and expedite this process and make it this bilateral agreement to work? So then it will be very much helpful, because under this present circumstance, skilled migrant category is open now, both Australia and New Zealand. If either our people get in Australian membership, so then it will help to even they can find something in New Zealand.
Yes, well said, Andra. So, which is the one I am very closely working with Engineers Australia, Engineers Australia and Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka. So hopefully this term we are going to work very closely. So there's a good chance that is going to take place.
Okay, thank you.
So there's a question.
Yeah. Before you put the question, let me talk something again. So, okay, somebody asked about the COVID relief, whether is there's any processing and kind of thing. Okay, so there are some COVID relief stuffs taking place, but those are case by case and also on the circumstances. All right. Okay. Then also mechanical engineering opportunities was asked by someone here. Yes, there is a good opportunities for mechanical engineers too. You are assessed in the same way as a civil engineer or any other category, and there is opportunities for mechanical engineering graduates in Australia. So you all can try again. Let me also be a little bit clear. Okay, there's two category of things we are talking here. One is getting into Australia, okay, as a migrant, and getting your work. Okay, those are two complete different things. Okay, so again, both depend on the circumstances. So, but I haven't seen anyone here that who couldn't find a job for a long time kind of stuff. Okay, so everyone came here, maybe struggle for 2-3 years, but then thereafter they are able to get some job, some kind of job in their profession. Yeah. All right, somebody was there. So, and before that, okay, a lot of people are messaging for with their email addresses. So can Engineer Dharmapal or Kamala, can you say this one? Because I don't know who is going to, I'm not sure there's, can we record all these ones? Emails coming on the chat?
Yeah, I will check it, but someone mentioned no need to put the email.
No, I think if you are recording that recorded file, I don't know where you are recording. Where are you recording this one? Are you recording on the cloud or you are recording on somewhere in your computer? Who is recording it?
We will have the recording of the emails.
Is it on the cloud or in the computer?
Yeah, it's on the cloud. We can access
then
it
I
later.
think you can actually download all the chat files. After you finish the meeting, when you click, and then there are 3 files coming. One is just the voice, the other is video, the other is the chat file.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Sada. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, we will continue with the flow. Yeah. Okay.
Engineer, sorry, can I one word with you?
Yes, please.
Yeah, these email addresses we can take a record.
Oh, right. That's great. So
Yeah, even
we will
those who are
I will share the file.
those who are registered actually no need to put the emails, but it's okay. Can get it.
So you have all the participants' email addresses, isn't it?
Yeah, but those somebody has registered on only with the link, I think then it's not possible. But if they have registered at the beginning, they can, those things are there. So anyway, let them put their emails, no problem.
Okay, sure. Okay, cool. Okay, that's great. Okay, so we will still continue to have some more questions, please.
So is there a probability to complete a top up in Australia and come back to Sri Lanka and get this chartered engineer title without 3C passes in Sri Lankan physical science stream?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Going there to Australia and completing a top up and having the work experience and returning back to Sri Lanka, can someone have the chartered engineer title without having 3C passes or Sri Lankan GCE A levels in physical science stream?
With Engineers Australia or Institute of Engineers?
Have you done engineering degree?
Yeah, I'm studying currently in NDES, and I'm planning to do a top up in Australia. So is there a probability to become a chartered engineer back in Sri Lanka after completing it and returning back to Sri Lanka?
No, I think that is.
I think this is a question to the
something
Institute
to
of
do with
Engineers Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. It's nothing to do with us actually.
Yeah, you should approach the Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka. So I think they will be the right people to advise to you, please.
Yeah,
engineer Soti, I can answer that question. He can't
Yes,
get
yes,
because,
please.
yeah, he can't get membership of IESL without fulfilling those physical science stream. The advanced level requirement after 2018 May is 2 C's and 1 S. They have to fulfill that one.
Dharmapala sir, can I ask one question from you?
Yeah.
Yeah, this actually what I asked from the engineer Murthy about this bilateral agreements. He told that he and UN president is working on that one. So can you give us some indication that when this will happen and when we can, when our charter engineers can get the Australian this equality? Will it happen within this year, or can you give any time frame?
Yeah, council members wanted to go through this this agreement. Actually, the new council members, they wanted to go through this one. So I think during last council we discussed this, and they want time to study this contents of this agreement. So I think that will be very soon during this week. I think CEO will provide that. After that, we can see.
Actually, sir, please do your best to make it early possible, because this will be very much helpful to many of our charter engineers, those who are looking for jobs in New Zealand and Australia, where they open for special even visa system for the migrant workers, especially in construction industry. So that will be very, very useful for our engineers.
So as far as I know, this both institutions, they are not going to consider this awarding charter status over the counter. So they will go through their process. I think Australia, Engineers Australia, they are having some kind of a process of giving this one. Similarly, Sri Lanka also having a process. So they have to very carefully follow the steps, procedures of this awarding this charter status. So that is why this council is very concerned about this. Now,
Okay,
some
thank
think
you.
that automatically when someone is having a charter.
I am on the way. Could I ask a question? Could I ask a question, sir? I am Ulfat Saburi, Master of Technology in Civil Engineering. I have done my bachelor and master degree from lovely professional University of India, and I have a English medium certificate too, with 7-year extensive 7-year experience in civil engineering. My last year of experience was with.
So best thing is these are case by case. They have to study. So best thing is to you have to consult IESL membership division or education division, and they will give you a clear position of your educational qualification.
United project, and I have from Australian.
Just can I clarify that question? Are you talking of getting a membership in Engineers Australia, or are you talking in getting a membership in Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka? All right, there's a silence from the this one. I think there was a question about what is the opportunities for the just give me a minute to read this one. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, please, you go ahead. I'll come with the question.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I also have Neil here. I think he might be better for this, but just to get back on the migration track, I wanted to maybe if we can go to that first slide or the third one, if that's possible, where it shows all the different types of visas, just to clarify, because I've seen some of the questions that we had on it, like from the chat as well. So under these, obviously the graduate visa 476 would be for recent graduates who have finished their degrees in the last 2 years. But in terms of the independent visa and the 189, like 190, those two would be more of a permanent residence visa, that's when you would require your assessment to be skilled from Engineers Australia, whether you're a professional engineer or technologist or whatever the stream. And then within the age category until under, I think, for different age categories, you would get different points. And yeah, this particular slide is showing you that minimally you need 65 points or more. So they would come under the age and your skill and the English competency level, etc. But then there were also a few other visa options that we have listed here, which would also require for more of a work visa, so like a sponsorship visa, which I think Neil would probably go in more detail later. But just to clarify, because I saw a lot of questions where I think they had asked about either whether they can go through the working experience or whether it's through the
excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, here mentioned that have at least a competent level of English. So, but in the point calculation, for that level, I think no marks, right? Only proficient English 10 marks, right?
Yeah, so you have to I think you can go through either IELTS or Pearson's Test of English, PTE. So here if you wrote that, if you do the exam and then depending on the points you get, the maximum you can get is 20 points. So I think if you can actually put some attention to whether you do Pearson's or IELTS.
Yeah, that means if we have competent level, we can apply. But if we have proficient,
you have superior, you won't get any points.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for example, so if you get 8 or above for each band in IELTS, I think that's when you get the 20 points. But if you get there's 4 categories, right? Reading, speaking, listening, and writing. So under listening, So if it's for 7 each band, you might get 10 points. I'm not entirely sure right now which is the case, but like if you get 8 or above or 9 for each, that you would get like the 20 points. And Pearson's also is available currently in Sri Lanka as well. So that is done. You can look at both of them and see. Not overall, I mean, you can still apply with an overall 7, I think, but it's just for you to get like 10 points or 20 points through the English stream, you'll have to score higher. But it's possible, like you can just put some time into it and practice. They're actually not like, the English test is pretty straightforward if you like actually keep practicing.
Thank you, Ajini, for your info. Okay, there was a question from Jenestin, I think. Is there say opportunity in PhD for artificial intelligence? Okay, so definitely Prof. Sada can touch up this one, please.
Is that PhD in artificial intelligence, or the person has PhD and then he wants to find
person has a
job
graduate
opportunity?
diploma.
Mm.
So they are looking to get a PhD, continue the PhD in artificial intelligence.
There are definitely opportunities, and then usually the PhD scholarships are advertised. I think I have put in my PowerPoint presentation, I have now included, like, for our university, for example, where you can find the research scholarship, the link. So you can, similarly, there are many universities, every university offer those scholarships, and then their criteria, ranking criteria differs. So one person may just consider your undergraduate degree if you have first class or second upper. And if it is a first class or second upper, here you can directly go to PhD. You don't need to do masters. So the getting admission is easier, but the scholarship is the one that you have to go through certain step. I mean, getting admission to a PhD degree is easier if you are happy to pay the money.
Okay, there was a question about fresh engineering graduates. What are the opportunities for those graduates for them? Okay, so can I ask Harry to address this issue? Harry.
Yes, Rosie.
Yeah.
It's bit.
So if a fresh graduate, what is the opportunities we have here, please?
It's basically a bit hard for engineers who graduated from Sri Lanka and coming into here, because mostly the employers and recruiters here are looking for Sri Lanka local experience, because mostly here they are looking into health and safety system.
No,
priority.
Hari, well, my question to you is, okay, what are the opportunities they have for a freshly graduate? Okay.
Yes, so it's like, it's a bit hard
so
to
is
specify.
there any visa category can be obtained for these people?
Fresh graduates can come from 476 visa. It's basically within 2 years of graduation, they can apply for it. Normally they need meet the English requirement and the qualification, which is under the Washington Accord. They can apply for this 476 visa. After they come into Australia, like they can't, we can't specify which category, like civil or structural. It depends on how they find the first job. Here, mostly they're looking for local experience. It's hard to specify. Like for me, like I came on 3 years of experience, but they couldn't able to recognize because it's not according. They're not specified, which is we have worked as it is in Australian work frame. Like, so they have to come over here. They have to apply, like contact the recruiters and through the LinkedIn or get their emails and send it over their website. Other than that, they can go through these. There are some organizations who are helping for these graduates to find the work frame. Like they have to go for 3 weeks of free without pay, and they will find the
career engineering program to find the work here.
All right, thank you, Harry. Okay, let me put up this perspective bit right. Okay, so there's a possibility. There's a possibility to get a visa under the category of 476, as Harry mentioned, but then getting a job is not guaranteed. This is what he was saying. Okay, and in common, I just want to advise everyone. Okay, so you will be getting the power slides, everyone. Okay, and we have decided to go in this mode. So please don't put other adverse comments on this group. Okay, we will continue. So if you have anything, the PowerPoint will be shared with everyone. Okay, so please put up your this one. Yeah.
Hi, just to add on to Harry's answer in terms of the fresh graduates. So I studied in the UK. I did aeronautical engineering, but then I applied for the 476 skilled visa and like the graduate visa, and I went to Sydney through it, I think in 2016, 2017, around that time. So once I went there, I did manage to like do my, I did some work, I got some work experience within like locally, like he said, they do look for a lot of local experiences like for a job, but at the same time I did do that, but then I also did manage to get a mechanical engineering role at Roads and Maritime Services, which is similar to maybe the RDA in Sri Lanka. So I think like he also mentioned, if you are able to go through the 476 visa, and as soon as you even go there or even prior to it, if you can maybe start the application process for jobs and get the familiarity with it, whether it's through LinkedIn, whether it's through Seek or different online platforms, it's not like, it's a bit tough, but you would find something or the other. I think because they are currently also looking for a lot more engineers, I think.
All right, thanks, Anjali. Okay, so can I expect some more questions from the floor, please?
Hello.
Yes, but please speak with your name so that we identify you.
Yeah, I'm Balasurya. I just want to know one question. If we score like 95 points under 491, then is there a high chance for us to get the PR? They said the minimum required points is 65, but there's no guarantee that we'll be getting it if we score like 90, 95, right? What are the chances? I just want to know the chances of getting it.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, let me leave it to Manoj to answer this question. But this depends on the situations and number of applicants on that particular time. So whoever has a higher points will get the eligibility. Okay, let Manoj clarify this.
Once you are in the pool on that one, the first criteria is to be in the pool on that one. Then the other one is that one, depending upon your experience and your education level on that one, the employer who is in need is the one who can escalate the process on that one. So depending upon the region, depending upon the need on that one, will be the one which will be fast tracked.
Oh, okay. So do you know which region is better for civil engineers?
That's a difficult question.
Okay, okay, thank you.
I can just give a little bit update. Regional Australia is better for civil engineers. Okay, you might be able to get some escalated points for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any more questions from the floor, please?
Yeah, I'm Azhar. I have a question. I have posted a question. If you can please answer those questions with the emails, it will be helpful for others also, no?
Which emails, please, Azhar?
Yeah, no, we have in the chat box, there are so many questions. People have raised so many questions. So if you can answer those also when you are sending the recordings, it will be helpful for others also.
We will try our level best to do that, but then this is a voluntary thing we all are doing. Okay, so
no, actually, at least
Yes. Okay. But yeah, the PowerPoint will clarify everything. Okay. Then,
Yes.
okay. We might do something. Yeah. When we download the chats, we may, when we download the chats, we might be able to assist you. Depend on the number of people, we might be able to assist you something. Yeah. Okay.
And this question is to Mr. Manoj.
Yep.
Is there any available visa categories for senior engineers above 45?
Yes.
Can you please explain?
Okay, for year one.
Yes.
So if an employer, on that, despite your age group on that one, if your skill set matches an employer on that one, so imagine if in case if me as an employer on that one, I needed to match a skill set with you on that one. I need you for my firm. I can be a sponsor for you on that one. As long as I have a sponsor status on that one, I can sponsor you to be an employee on that one. The only thing is that one, you should only work for me.
Right. Because I
So
have
that
seen
indirectly on that one, if you see on that one, that isn't a
yes,
very as long as you have connections on that one, as long as you are an exception in that industry which you're working, and that you are known to this industry on that one in Australia as well on that one, at those times on that one, that will make life easier on that one. Otherwise, there should be some referrals on that one from this side, and that company which you are being invited on that one should have a sponsor status on that.
Right. Because they have age limit of 45. I have seen it.
Yeah.
So the only option is you have to get a sponsorship.
That's correct. So mainly if you look into all these criteria on that, so what happens is that one earlier on that one, it was purely on a point system. So which means as long as you are qualified, then depending upon the time frames on that one, you are guaranteed that you will get a PR to Australia or a visa to Australia. So now because of the abuse on that one, they have changed that system on that one, and they put it into the pool system where a qualified people will be on the group over there on that one, and whoever is in need, the employers in Australia, whoever is in need of such a skill on that one, can fast track those applications for those applicants. So if you look at these criteria on that one, you could see on that one, almost all of the visa is on that one, is nominated ones.
Yes. Okay,
Majority
thank
of
you.
them. Majority of them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I have a question on the skill assessment. Can I ask?
Can you come with your first name, please? Before
My name is
yeah.
Shan Abhivardhana. I have a question on skill assessment at Engineers Australia.
Yes, please, Shanda. Yeah.
Okay. So I have graduated in 2018 January 1st, and I will be completing my 5-year experience on the end of this year. But actually, that's the gross experience, because between my second and third job, there is like 2 weeks of gap, and I was like jobless for 2 weeks. So should I submit for Engineers Australia skill assessment on January 1st of 2023? Or should I wait for like end of second week of January because of that gap? I mean, are they like considering crude experience, like literally they are counting the days that I have been doing a job for that matter? Because the last thing I would want to is like they're assessing like 4.95 or something like years for my experience, because I'm not getting that 10 points for 5 years experience, if so. That's why I was asking. Thank you.
I think let me take this question on board. Okay, so there's two things. Okay, when you apply for a migration, one is your educational assessment. So for that purpose, your degree is good enough. So that depends on the degree where you have obtained your degree. So if you have obtained from University of Peradeniya and Moratuwa, I think they comes under the Washington Accord and the mutual agreement, and they have, you can get in recognition. Okay. So that will take you there, but then come to the experience. Then I think if you have a 3-year solid experience continuously in your profession, then the points for your professional experience is being counted. Okay. Am I clarifying, Shanda?
Yes, actually, you were saying that continuous experience of 3 years. So actually, it was like not continuous for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, because I left my job, second job, and I obtained my third job 2 weeks after that. So there's a 2-week gap. So should I wait for two weeks after like end of this year in order to push for skill assessment, or like 5 years of gross experience enough? Because basically I was just jobless for 2 weeks. I mean, that's the question I was asking.
Okay, that's not an issue. So you have to see what sort of professional experience is expected under your category. I don't think, to by best of my memory, there's no 5 years this time. I think it's 3 years. You can look at this immigration website, and in the slides also we have mentioned about it. So is the time limit has to be in total, you have to have certain the stipulated experience. If there's a break, then it had to be we need to have for the break period to be covered up.
Oh, got it. Thanks. I have another question. Shall I ask?
Yes, please. Yeah.
This is about onshore versus offshore nominations. I have just today I have saw that New South Wales have announced their minimum points for engineers or civil engineers. It was like 100 points. So for 190 visa category, it's like almost literally impossible for offshore people to get 100 points, but like 95 points we can get. So there are they like selecting. I mean, that's the minimum point. So in rare case, even if we get 100 points, so are they like offering offshore quota, or are they like, I mean, do they have separate quotas for onshore and offshore engineers? So what are the chances for offshore engineers compared to onshore engineers to be nominated? Sorry. Thank you.
I think I will leave this question to Manoj, please.
No, so I am not that the one which you asked on that one, so I don't have a right answer for that one. So I understood his question on that one, but I don't have that information on that one. I can search it up and let him know.
I think let me add to your answer, Manoj. I think the selection.
What he was asking is the priority on that one, onshore and offshore one. So on that one, so it would be the government which will be prioritizing.
Can you all
it.
mute, please? Okay. Yes. The added answer to that would be, okay, these policies change time to time, so we won't have anything really to comment about it. Okay, this is the government policy announcements, so time to time they change this one. It depends on the need of the skilled people to the country. All right. Okay, so we will have another 3 or 4 more questions, then we will close up in another.
Excuse me. I'm Samir. Yeah. I have another question. I am a civil engineer having almost 8 years of experience. I have applied through an agent within 70 points. I have a competent English. I'm still carrying out with my PT exams, but I have lodged my EOI last week with the 70 points to the Australia. Is it any possibility of getting me the invitation, or any possibility of
that one? As I said on that one, depending upon that your particular experience and skill is matched with any of the employers who is looking into that, then it will be fast tracked on that one. Otherwise, it will be a time consuming thing.
I applied through the construction project manager as a construction, but I got the skill assessment to the VETRAS.
As I said on that one, yes, as long as you are in the pool on that one, then it will be weighted on that one for an employer on that one to elect or to invite on that one. If it is no invitation comes on that one, then it will be a little bit a time consumed one. If it is to be fast tracked on that one, if your experience and skills matches with one of the employers over here, then that will be fast tracked on that one.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Soti. I'm Nishan.
Yes, please, Nishan.
I'm graduate from the Open University from mechanical engineering. I have the BTech engineering degree. Let me know the that degree is Washington accredited degree or?
I don't have a ready answer for this one. So maybe Anjani or Harry, can you say is our Open University of Sri Lanka is in the Washington Accord?
No, it's like University of Moratua, University of Peradeniya, and University of Ruguno. Those three are the universities which is under the Washington Accord. It's in the IESL website, so you can check what are the programs are under the approved by the Washington Accord. It's
Not
basically
under, yeah, thank you.
the
So
document is on the IESL.
University?
It's in the EA website.
No, IESL website, they also have that.
Right, all right, good. Thanks, Harry. Okay, there's
What
also
about
an
Jasmine
answer from there's also an answer from one of the audience. It says no. Yeah. Yes, there's someone talking. Please come over.
Good evening, sir.
What about the
Yeah. One after
I'm-
one, please. Yeah.
I'm Amila speaking.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I saw under subtask 489 and 491, there's a provision to get 15 marks, to 15 points from the blood relations sponsorship under that. Is it still possible? Because
see, if you look at the point set on that one, you could see all the points set is matched there. So once you get the link on that one, you can use that calculator on that one, and you can see whether you will fit into that or not from your personal circumstances.
now under the 489, there's a provision. Direct sponsorship from the blood relation. I mean, the first cousin can give that sponsorship.
There are considerations for the sponsorship from the relations. Okay. So that is a very broad step. So you have to really prove the relationship, and that should fall in the category. Okay. So that's a very specific question, but it's very well explained in the IMI website, the Immigration to Australia website. So it's well explained there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. There's other question came up, please. Can you, in relation to this one, may I suggest something? If you find a partner here, that's the best way to come to Australia. All right, we go to the other one, please.
Yeah. Good evening, all of you. Sir, I have BSc Engineering plus 14 plus experience. When I searched the jobs through the online, I found there are some jobs with the visa sponsorship. So for that also, do I need to get this point system pass, and do I need the English eligibility test and other thing? And I don't understand what is the visa sponsorship related to this point system and all.
All right. Okay. Manoj.
Yeah. As long as your company is having a, have you made an inquiry on that one, whether they have a sponsorship status?
No, sir, I'm just trying to find some jobs in Australia from Sri Lanka. So just try applying through the online. So in that case,
so
I just found some.
What you need to ask them is that when you're applying on that one, these employers on that one should have a status. That company should have a status of a sponsor. Otherwise, your time would be wasted on that one. So unless they have a sponsored status on that sponsor status on that one only, then they can sponsor you. So the first thing is that when you ask them on that one, it's not a difficult process for the company to put up an application for a sponsorship on, but only if they are in need on that one. So when you are making an inquiry with HR on that one, you can request them to see if they are in a position to, or whether they are having a status of a sponsor on that one to sponsor you.
Now, what I'm asking is, if the company is sponsoring also, so do I need to get the point system pass?
No.
The EOI?
If they are
Okay.
having a sponsorship on that one, it is not required on that one.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I
Depending
understand.
upon what category is that one which you're applying for as well.
Okay.
If that is one of the other difficult tasks on that one for a sponsored one is that one, there is an obligation on that to a sponsor company on that one to establish to the department why is there need that an overseas a professional has to be recruited to Australia on that one. So first thing they need to prove is that one, they have made all reasonable efforts to find a suitable match in Australia. And if that has been satisfied is when they approve it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Hello,
Okay.
hello. I am Shashika. Mr. Sudi, I am having question regarding that there are some occupation list like short term and medium long term. So if I select occupation under, if I assist under occupation in under short term list, will it be effect for getting an invitation? So is there any negative impact over medium and long term list?
Well, I'm not sure of this one. Okay, so is Manoj can help something on this one, short term, long term, or?
Can you just explain to us? So what is it, the short term which you are asking on that one? Short term what?
Yeah, there are some occupation list, short term skill occupation, and other one is medium and long term. No? So if I assessed under short term occupation, will it be effect for getting invitation in future? Will they remove my occupation from list? There can be a risk on that.
No. As long as you are qualified in the pool, no.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, there is a question about who has finished an undergraduate degree in the Open University of Sri Lanka, but you have finished a master in science in geotechnical field in University of Pennsylvania. So is there any problem to apply for a PhD? Can I ask this question with Dr. Sada, Prof. Sada, please?
I think I have answered that question. In terms of applying for PhD, I don't think there is a problem. The problem will be if you want to apply for PhD scholarship, and what they do is, in order to give you the PhD degree admission, they try to look, there are certain degrees they recognize, and then if your degree is under that recognized category, then no problem. I am not sure whether that Open University comes under that. It could be. So that's the only thing I can tell. I don't know. I don't have a full list of recognized degrees in my fingertips.
What are the scholarships for there?
What's that?
Can I ask one question?
What are scholarships? What are scholarships for the PhD?
Yeah, for PhDs, there are scholarships available depending on projects we have. I mean, like academics like myself, there are many people there, and then each of them will have projects, and then they usually advertise for PhD scholarships. And there are also scholarships available from the university. Every university has their own scholarship scheme, and then for that they rank. I think that's the one I was talking about. And then that link I have already provided in my, if you want to look at, for example, for our university, I have provided the link here. So in this slide, so if you click on the link, I think that should take you to, I'm not sure, in the web page now or no?
No, we are not seeing your web page.
So let me share the web page now. So see, when you go to that link, when you click the link, it goes to the research scholarships. Then under the research scholarship, they give you, for this year, they already, I think June 28th August 2022, it's already gone. Then you have to wait for that. Then there is also other scholarships available, like project scholarships. They are advertised all throughout the year, depending on the availability of the. So here, if you go there, they tell you, I think it's, I don't know, it's loading or what. It's become blank. But there are different universities have different deadlines, so you don't have to worry about if you miss out on one university. There may be other universities giving scholarships. So I think what I wanted to do, I wanted to show you that, yeah. So this is the project scholarship. Project scholarships are usually available all throughout the year. There's no, their deadline varies depending on. This one is 30 September. There are so many PhD scholarships. I think there are somebody talking about artificial intelligence. I think there are some there. There is signal processing, advanced techniques for concrete engineering. There are several scholarships available. This is, I think I may advertise one for in environmental engineering too. So there may be something coming there. So you have to look out for their university websites. Usually every university has this website, kind of website, under their research portal. They will advertise the scholarship. So this is for Western Sydney University specifically, because I mean, that's what I am familiar with, but I am pretty sure that every university has similar kind of thing. So there is definitely a number of opportunities.
What's the
That's a
what
good
they are mainly
explanation,
focused?
Prof. Sada. Yes, please. The next question. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so
so
much,
what-
Prof.
Thanks,
So for the PhD scholarship, what they will mainly focus to give that scholarship?
If you click on this one, for example, right? I don't know who put this one, but if you go here, if you click, they usually will tell you what are their requirements. Like, for example, they tell you what is the project is about, where are you going to work, and what is the eligibility criteria, and how to apply, so forth. This one closed already in 1 September, but you can talk to the person. There is a contact detail, so you can talk to that person, and then that person will tell you whether you can still apply or not apply. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. There are some questions coming up on the chat. Okay, so there is one question. All right. Okay.
I have one question. Can I ask you?
Sorry, let me read up this one. After that, you can come, please. Okay. So if I'm getting the skill assessment before my age exceed the limit, is it possible to get an invitation even after age limit is surpassed? Okay. So all in regard to this question, what I would suggest, okay, is you need to lodge the application before you pass the age, okay? And the criteria to be met at the time of application will be evaluated at the time of submitting the application. So it's better to have everything ready at the time. It's also some of the things are exempted, so it can be submitted later. There's no problem about that, but it is a case to case. Okay. And there's another question. I am currently not working, but I have more than 6 years experience in my field. Is there's any issue to apply PR? There shouldn't be anything. If you are qualifying, you have adequate experience. And also there's another question. I have 11 years experience as a civil technical officer. Yeah, please don't send again. So I think you are a NDES, okay, and I have completed a Bachelor of Building Services Technology from Unibotech Radmalana, okay, UGC approved, okay. So I think, as we said, your university doesn't get into the Washington Accord, but looking at tier 1, okay, you can either assessed as a degree holder individually, that will go through the process, or you might have a better chance as a technological civil technologist. Okay, there's also a good chance. Okay. All right, with that one, I'm going to close up with another 2 questions from the floor. We will close up the stuff. Okay. And also one more question. There's someone has put up, I'm doing a PhD in Australia. I'm on subclass visa 500. It's a very specific question. Can I know the PR pathways? Okay, so there's a PhD student going to complete the PhD. Can I leave it to Manoj or somebody, please? Manoj?
Yeah.
Who has completed a PhD here? Okay. So is there any PR pathways?
Yes, on that one. So he might have, I think so, that gentleman might have already done his assessment on that one. With the points test on that one. So as long as he's having the PhD on that one, I assume that he will be within that range on that one to have that satisfied. And if he's having a PhD on that one, there is a greater chance of his application be escalated as well.
All right. Thank you, Manoj.
I'm
Yeah.
still doing my PhD. I already assessed.
Can you please spell your name, please?
Sorry?
Can you tell your name and start your question, please, so we know to address you?
Yeah, Roshan. I'm doing PhD in Australia.
Yeah.
That was my question. So what are the, I want to know what are the PR pathways? I have still 1.5 years more to complete, but I have already assessed what do you call the bachelor's degree, but not the PhD one.
That is fine as long as your assessment criteria satisfy the point system on that one and your study criteria on that one, you are eligible to apply on that one. So the best thing is that as long as you are in Australia and you have adequate and more qualification on that one, if you can have an employee on that one, then your application can be done in a very escalated way.
I mean,
there is also
classes. I mean,
I think I want to point out one point about. I think there is a category talent migration.
That's right.
Program, and under the talent migration program, and then if your PhD degree has usefulness to, or the expertise that you are gaining from the PhD has is useful to Australia, then I think under the talent category, you can apply for PR, I think, because I know some of my students have done that already. So there is a pathway like that.
All right. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
There's also a question about the 485 visa category. So maybe our Manoj, can you do that a little bit?
Which one, 485?
Yeah, what is that visa?
What is that they want to know?
So I think so 485, okay. Can you tell about 485 temporary graduate visa?
485. Just give me a second. It is still there on that one. So what is the situation there? What is the what is that
So
person's
there,
question on that one?
so can you tell about 485 visa? That is a question. Yeah.
Good. That one, of course, is anybody could have access to those information on that one. What is in particular what he needs to know about that one? So that one, anybody could, if you can, of course, just Google on that one for that subclass visa on that one will get that information.
Okay. That
What
can
is
be
that they?
Googled.
What is that we need to address on that one?
Oh, I just read a chat. What is in the thing? I think we will
See,
suggest
it's
them
very
to.
simple on that one. So those questions which they ask on that one for that particular one, if you just Google that one, the basic information is there on that one. So the only thing is that they needed to analyze that one with their own experiences on that one and their personal circumstances. Then they would be in a position to reasonably understand the eligibility on that one for them to apply.
Yep. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Manoj, so much. Thank you, Manoj. All right. There was another question coming up. Please voice up.
Sir, I'm Shivanandan.
Yes, please, Swa.
Yes, sir. Actually, I got the chartered membership from the Engineer Australia.
Yep.
Now I am in age 46. There is any possibility to get PR in Australia?
I think so. That was addressed earlier in this question as well. As long as you have applied in the pool within the age limit on that one. Have you applied or not yet?
Not get applied, sir. Actually, I got to know that for the skill migration, I may eligible to apply, but I am asking whether I am eligible to get a PR. If I try.
Your one. If it is an employer nomination, there are provisions on that one where the age group can be exempted on that one.
In that way, is it possible for the PR also, sir?
PR criteria on that one, the age leap, I think so it will exceed.
Yes. I think Manoj.
They will exceed on that one because what the criteria says that it will exceed on that one.
Yeah. So there's it's literally not possible in that age, but then as Manoj advised, there may be possibilities to.
Exceptions are there on that one for getting an employer nomination despite the age, as long as you are skilled and you are an exceptionally talented person in that particular industry or sector on that one. Then definitely yes, you can hold that visa on that one. But when it comes to the PR on that one, the basic requirement will not be met.
Okay, thanks Manoj. Thanks Siva for the question. Okay, this is the last two questions, please.
Good evening, I'm Tushar Silva.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Good evening, I'm Tushar Silva from University of Monato. I graduated 1997 and did my PG in 2012. For TSS subclass 482, have I to do the skill assessment?
482 is an employer sponsored one, right?
All right. Otherwise, I can't apply because my age is now gone. Only 482 I can apply, no?
Yeah, 482, what it says that one. So how much period are you looking at? 2 years or?
About 4 years.
In most of the cases which sees on that one, if it is so, then it will be 2 years is what they say.
Right. Can we extend that?
Stay longer, yes. If the employer provides you submit with a new nomination, yes, you can.
Anyway, we have to find an employer, no?
That's right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There was a question about what is the international PSL recognition in Australia. So as I know that there's this we have addressed this one. So for Institute of Engineers, if the mutual recognition award is there, then we have a better way to get into the Australian PE. But then others, it will be addressed in case by case. And also there was a general question before me. So those who are above age of 45, there's a pathway through the business migration. Okay, so that is a category people can look into. Those engineers having over age 45 and also having sufficient funds can look into this category. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me close up the meeting with this one. Let me invite Nimal from our ISL New South Wales chapter to give the vote of thanks for all our gentlemen.
Hi, Swati. I need you accept from the start the video.
Sorry.
I cannot
okay.
turn on my video.
All right. Okay. So can you? I don't have the admin power. But looks like okay. Oh, I do have the admin power. Engineer Kamala, can you please give access to the give access to the video, please, to Mihimal?
Who is the guy? Engineer?
Engineer Mihimal.
Oh. Yeah, Engineer Saudi, I am trying ISL, but no response now. So without video, can he speak
Yeah,
up?
that's fine. That's fine. I'll do it without the video.
Please, thank
Yeah,
you.
we have a lovely photo of you, man. Okay, so.
Yeah. All right. Good evening, everyone. It is a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion on behalf of the ISL New South Wales chapter. First and foremost, I would like to thank our distinguished presenters, Mr. Manoj Ranjan and Professor Sathasivam, for delivering this informative and interesting presentation about migrating opportunities as well as studying opportunities in Australia. ISL and we are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience with us. Secondly, I would like to thank, I take this opportunity to thank Engineer Janasothi, Engineer Hari Paramanathan and Ajini Gunawardana who contributed as the panelists of the program. Also, Engineer Dharampala from Engineers Without Borders group of ISL and Engineer Kamala Gunawardana from IS Colombo and Engineer Janasothi from ISL New South Wales chapter who took initiative to coordinate with the distinguished presenters as well as ISL Sri Lanka to make this event happen. I would like to thank them also. Next, I would like to thank our wonderful audience for your patience and valuable questions. Last but not least, I would like to thank the committee members of ISL New South Wales chapter who worked behind and making this presentation a resounding success. looking forward to see you all at our next event. Good night and enjoy your evening. Thank you.